Good morning, my people, my people, my people. The most beautiful people, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, St. Vincent is up to its neck in tata, in tutu, in shite, in shit. And this is a serious, serious problem. You have no one to blame but the man who have been mismanaging the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the past 21 years. Before I go into what I want to say here, let me just tell you a little story, a true story from my childhood. I grew up in Bottomtown. My father, Hamilton Palmer, ran a business. In the early days, his business was blooming. That was when I was a kid and before I was born. You see, my father, as a young man, he was a shipwright. He built vessels, large vessels. And as a young man, he went to Aruba and he worked in Aruba and he amassed some money. He came back to St. Vincent and he set up himself. When I was born, his business was blooming. But when my mother died, his business... Good morning, Betty. Nice to have you, my friend. When my mother died, I don't know what happened. He didn't have much concern about business. He drank more than his focus on his business. And his business started going down. So when I was about 12, 13 years old, he was still be able to pay all of the bills and give us food, keep clothes on our back, and keep a roof over our heads with his business. But when I want to go to a fair or some social event as a 13-year-old, and I asked my father for money to give, he gave me $5. And by this time, $5 would not allow you to have the kind of fun you want to have. And I thought that my father was just being cheap because I didn't understand. He has a shop. He can afford to give me more than $5. But my father's shop was not doing well. He was making just enough money to put food on our tables, to pay the bills, keep a roof over our heads. But I thought otherwise, because he is my father, he is the provider of the house. He should be able to give me more than $5 to go to a fair. I didn't understand. My people, a lot of us don't understand what is happening in our country. We don't understand what is happening in our country. Let me bring some historical facts to you. Historical facts. Good morning, Wanda Roberts. Historical facts. In the 70s, right? St. Vincent and the Grenadines had a very good economy. Things was blooming. Right? We had a coconut factory at Annisville. So what you see here, people from the rural areas will prepare copra, get those coconuts, they dry them, and they bring them and they sell them at the coconut factory so that they can make soap, coconut oil, and other products. We were shipping things to the neighboring countries. Foreign exchange were coming in. We had a company by the name of ECA that is run by the De Freitas brothers. Dougie De Freitas, Marcus De Freitas, and the other brothers in Canada. Every week, they will ship agricultural produce to Canada. They had about 10 or 15 vehicles that will go out into the country that will purchase agricultural products from the farmers and bring them back to the depot, right where the NEP headquarters is, and they will prepare these products to be shipped to Canada. Foreign exchange were coming in. This was a multi-million-dollar company. I'm giving you the background before we go into the meat of the matter. We also had an industrial estate in Camden Park. There was about 20 foreign companies who provide labor-intensive work for Vincentian citizens in Camden Park. 20 companies. Every morning, thousands of Vincentians from all over St. Vincent and the Grenadines will go to those places. They will work. Those companies were paying taxes on the raw material they brought in to make their products. Racket, clothing, shoes, all kinds of things was being made at the Camden Park Industrial Estate. Sweaters, embroidery clothing, everything. And when they were shipping them out, they would pay export duties. Foreign exchange were coming in. We had the Diamond Dairy factory, a diamond that was producing diamond products, orange juice, and other dairy products. Chocolate milk and all these things. They were shipping these things out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Foreign exchange was coming in. We had the banana industry. That was a multi-million-dollar investment in the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That means the foreign exchange that came in from the banana industry spread all over the country. My people, since James Mitchell came into government, the coconut oil factory went out of business. ECA agencies went out of business. The banana industry crashed. Camden Park industry disappeared. The diamond dairy disappeared. There was no new industry put in place over the past 37 years. No new industry put in place over the past 37 years. My people, our foreign exchange has been non-existent. Why? Because there is no new industry. The traffickers were shipping produce to Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua, and some of them were going to the Virgin Islands. Our farmers were doing well because they were ready market for the farm product. All of that disappeared. No new industry came on stream for the past 37 years, ever since James Mitchell take control of government to today. My people, listen to me carefully. If you are not exporting anything, then that means you're not getting any foreign exchange and your GDP is not growing. Export means that you produce, you sell, you get money. You produce, you sell, you get money. That is how a country is developed. Listen carefully, my people. If there is no export, there is no development. What we are seeing happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are doing projects by taking loans and getting grants, loans that you have to pay back. Now, let me break it down for you. If you are responsible for your family, you are the head of the household, you are making decisions on behalf of your family. My people, if you don't have a job, you don't go and look for a loan, because the loan will have to be paid back. And if you don't have a job to take care of your family and to pay back your loan, what will you find happening? whatever you take the loan for, the lending institution, the bank, is going to come and take it and sell it back for a cheaper price to ensure they get at least some of their money back. When you're running a country, the job of a country is what is produced and sell. If you don't produce anything and sell anything, you don't have a job, you don't make any money. So when you take loans, these loans that has to pay back, you cannot pay them back because you don't have a job. You're not producing and selling anything to bring in money to service your loan. But remember, this country still need to eat. So you're importing food and clothing from outside. You're not producing anything. My people, this is how a family go into bankruptcy, lose their car and the house. The way Ralph Gonsalves is running St. Vincent and the Grenadines is going to put us into bankruptcy, and we are going to lose everything. Let me tell you what happened. The polyclinics, and all of these things that the government is boasting as development, they are not development. They are infrastructure. If we are not producing anything to sell, to get money to service those loans that build the polyclinics, that is going to build the new, the refurbished Depot Harbor, all those loans are going to accumulate interest. And it means that our obligation to the lending agencies, the World Bank and so forth, is going to grow. Now, we are borrowing over $280 million US dollars. We have to pay back that $280 million US dollars with interest. It may not be a big interest, but you have to pay it back with interest. If we don't pay back the loan and the interest, it's going to accumulate, the interest is going to grow, and it's going to be compound. Now, over the 10-year period, for a $290 million loan, you might have to pay back $340 million. But because we are not servicing the loan and taking care of the interest, by the time the loan should be expired, we should have done payback. Now, we owe in that institution over $500 million US dollars. My people, what I'm saying, our economy is not growing because we are not producing anything, we are not selling anything to any market that is substantial, that could help our economy to grow and our GDP to grow. All the Labour Party's government is doing is window dressing. Now, Ralph Gonsalves is unable to pay salary. You see, Palmer for the pay, you see that. Let me tell you something. The reason why he was so happy to fire those teachers and police officers and other government workers for not taking the vaccine is that it released a little burden. So now, salaries, let us hypothetical, meaning this is not the right figure. We are using this figure for an example. Salaries for government workers, let us say, was $50 million every month. Right? Now, all of these teachers, especially these experienced teachers who had 10 and 15 years experience, that were getting like about what? $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, or something like that, for their degree and everything else. Remember, the basic salary for a teacher will start about what? $1,500 a month? If we can get all of those people to move from $5,000 a month back to $1,500 a month, or $2,000 a month, it is going to take off $3,000 for every teacher from the fixed expenditure that the government have to produce every month. My people, like my father who was running a business was failing. When he gave me $5 to go to a fair, I was disgruntled. I thought that he was selfish, that he was being cheap. He was not selfish. He was not being cheap. It is just what he can afford. My people, St. Vincent and the Grenadines economy has not been growing, no matter what Ralph Gonsalves tell you. It has not been growing. He is lying to you to save face. Why he is afraid of leaving government? Because whoever is put there will see the predicament that we are in. The amount of money we are owing our neighbors who have loaned us money to pay salaries. My people, Ralph Gonsalves cannot manage the economy. And I'm going to go into a place where most are going to lose most of you, but I'll try to make it simple. I may lose most of you, but I'll try to make it simple. My people, most of us believe that black people, white people, Indian people, Chinese people, and all of the people of the world are just one. It's just a differences in the shade, the complexion. That is not true. White people delight in seeing the suffering of other people. Let me bring you something about our history again that you may not have known. In the 70s, they had a family that operated and owned a lot of land in the Georgetown area called the Balcombs. The Balcombs were Caucasians. They were Portuguese. They own a lot of land. The Balcombs will ride around on their land on horses in the olden day, and they would walk around with shotgun. In the 70s, the Balcom used to shoot people just for picking up a coconut off the ground. If you pass through the road, the public road that runs through their land, and you see a coconut there, you pick up a coconut, they will shoot you. I remember when I was a child, Mr. Balcom shot a 5-year-old boy who picked up a coconut and was going home with it so his mother could make coconut dumpling. He told the police that he caught the 5-year-old boy and his land stealing. I was a child. I couldn't understand. Why would a grown man take a shotgun and blow a 5-year-old child away? I couldn't understand it. I went to the morgue and I saw the remnants of this child's body in the morgue. The dead house, as we call it in Bottomtown. Sometime later, when I was much older, still in the 70s, there was a young man by the name of Kelvin De Freitas. We call him Sheriff. He was from Bottomtown. When the Rasta thing came in, the Rasta had a thing, they used to say, all the land is Jalan. They will come onto your property, they will pick a fruit, they will eat it, and they say, this is Ja fruit. My people, somehow a group of Rastas were in Georgetown. Kelvin De Freitas take up a coconut off of the Balcom land, and Mr. Balcom shot Kelvin in his head with a shotgun. Kelvin De Freitas, sheriff from Bottomtown, the brother of Rosamond De Freitas, who now resides in the United States. My people, it is only by the mercies of the Most High that shotgun injury to his head did not kill him, all because he took up a coconut. It is only because of the Most High. I tell you, these white people, they are not Regular people, they are devils. I've proven that from the scriptures. My people, they are not very intelligent. They rule by brute force, not by intelligence and finesse. The only reason why Ralph Gonsalves is unable to grow the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is because he don't have what it takes. He was looking at how Mitchell run the government. Mitchell look at how Cater run the government, and looking at it from outside does not give you a true picture of all that should be taking place in the proper administration of the affairs of an economy. All you can see is that they're doing projects. Why are these projects being implemented? They don't know. How you assess whether a project should come on stream? They don't know. Because all they're seeing is the projects being done, but they don't know the planning that goes behind the implementation of the projects, and why these projects are put into place, and what is going to be derived as it relates to growth and development of the economy of a country. They don't have that capacity. White people are not intelligent people. They can talk a good game. That is why, let me tell you something, people. If white people were such intelligent people, why can't America produce products that could, at a cheaper price, that could rival the Chinese production? They can't. They don't have what it takes. Every invention that they have, they stole it. So if you really expect Ralph Gonsalves to grow the economy, he isn't capable of growing it because he's a Caucasian. He only could do what he can do based on his intelligence. Alan, that's not true. White people and black people are the same. No, we're not the same. We are not the same. That is why they steals the invention of black people. That is why they exploit black talents. That is why there are so many people complaining about this person steal their song and pattern it. That is why there are so much people in America that saying this, they take their invention to this white guy because they thought he could help them. And what he does, he go and he pattern their invention, steal their invention, create their invention, make millions, and they are poor. The man who created Jefferson's Good Times and all of these things, a black man, a Jewish guy, steal all of his idea. This Jewish guy is in his 90s, he's rich, he's living rich, he's rich and healthy, he's eating good. This black man whose idea he stole is poor and homeless, living in a shelter. Vincent, if you don't watch it, you are going to be living in shelters right in the country of your birth. Ralph Gonsalves will destroy our economy to a certain extent that, like what is happening in Africa, where the Chinese is going into Africa and taking control of those agencies in Africa, in the African countries, like their airport, their seaport, so that they can get payment for the loan that they have granted those countries. My people, banking institutions are not giving loan forgiveness again. Long time they give you loan forgiveness. They say you can't pay, we'll forgive your loan. Don't make it happen again. They don't do that. They're finding means of recuperating their money from small island economy and poor countries, even if it means investing more money than they will ever get to come and colonize your country, take control of your seaport, take control of your airport, and determines what comes in and what goes out. This is new time. Ralph Gonsalves does not have the mental capacity to grow the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He have a big talk, he talk a big game, but that's all he have. Big mouth. He try to convince you that he know what he's doing. He tell you what you should expect of him. I have the experience. I am here to guide the young minds. No, he don't have no experience. He don't know what he's doing. He think what he's doing is what Milton Cato did, what James Mitchell did. But he realized that he's not being productive. What he's doing is not producing. The economy is not growing. He's unable. Lioness Pompey, good morning. Greetings. He's not able to produce. My brother, my sisters, the people who I love very dearly, the teachers is going to get a judgment that is going to force the government to reinstate them, not to rehire them, to reinstate them, and he's afraid of that. Because he just get a little relief. He didn't have to pay hundreds of teachers and a lot of civil servants. So his obligation to salaries have declined quite a bit. My people, in Grenada, the Grenadian Teachers Union take the same thing to the courts. The Grenadian courts rule in favor of the Grenadian Teachers Union, meaning that the dismissal of these workers was unconstitutional. I only hope that the lawyers who are fighting on behalf of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union was smart enough to peruse the case file of the Grenadian Teachers Union and to see the argument that they presented. Because, my people, if it work one way, the laws are the same, it have to work another way. If the Grenada judiciary say that the government was wrong in dismissing the teachers and he ought to reinstate those teachers and give them the salary they miss, the judiciary in St. Vincent and Grenadines have to come up with the same thing, because the laws are the same, except for if the lawyers try to invent the wheel and then present the same argument. So that is why he's trying to rehire them, bring them back at a basic wage without their experiences, without all of the increments they have accumulated over the 15 years they have been teaching. Because he knows a verdict is coming back. And he knows a verdict is going to be in favor of the teachers. And he cannot afford to pay the teachers. My people, God bless the man who take over as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines from Ralph Gonsalves. He is going to find the most confusion he have ever seen. There will be no accountant who will be able to make sense of the rubble that will be the accounts of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. God bless the man who take over as Prime Minister. And you know what? The supporters of the Unity Labour Party is going to say that whoever take over from Ralph Gonsalves as Prime Minister is lying because they don't know how to manage the country. They are lying because they don't know how to manage the country. They are throwing blame. That is what they're going to say. His supporters are going to say that. That only Ralph could run the country, remember? This is how Vincent think. Only the people who, when he's supporting When they supporting a man, they think that only this man alone can do the job. But before him, we have Joshua, who did a splendid job, who actually grew the industries of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We had Milton Cato, who did a splendid job, who established the Camden Park industrial site and get about 50 businesses to come to manufacture their product in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Labor-intensive work was created. Thousands of Vincentians were employed. My people. And we got James Mitchell, who didn't do as good a job, but he was running the country. My people, Joshua supporters thought that it's only Joshua could run the country. Cato supporters thought it is only Cato could run the country. Mitchell supporters thought it is only Mitchell could run the country. Ralph Gonsalves supporters think it's only Ralph could run the country because he brainwashed them. They don't realize that if a country is developing, that the people will develop with the country. My people, if your standard of living is not better now than it was when Ralph Gonsalves took over government, that means the country is not developing, because the country will not develop unless the people develop. The people and the country will go together. James Mitchell have taught the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines that putting in infrastructure is a gauge for development. That is not true. Putting in infrastructure is preparation for the development if those infrastructures are utilized properly. So now when Ralph Gonsalves build an airport, they see the country developing. No, it's not a development. Development comes when the airport is properly used and we can see foreign exchange coming in. If there is no foreign exchange coming in, there is no development. If there is no industry to get foreign exchange in, there is no development. My people, we have an import economy. That means we are sending out money and we are getting unusable products that you cannot reuse. Clothes that we wear, they get tattered, they throw away, but the money done gone out. Food we eat, we digest it and we shit it out. The money done gone out. We have an import economy where we import stuff that are not reusable and we give out our good foreign exchange. There's no foreign exchange coming in. So let me break it down this way. You have a household. You have $50 in your budget. You go, you shop, you buy $50 worth of groceries, all the money done. You're not working. You have food, you don't have to worry about anything else. Hopefully, by the time the food done, you'll get a job. You eat the food, you digest the food, it passes out into the drought. You shit it out, as we see in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What next? You didn't get a job. What next? No money coming in. What next? You have to stand still. What next? Tomorrow you'll be hungry. What next? The next day you'll be starving. What next? The following month you die. If you don't have any export, after a while, the monies that you have, it will soon done. You will have your last meal. And after your last meal, you will live a while, because a human can live for up to 40 days and function properly without food. But after that, you start dying. And eventually, by the 50th day, you may be close to death or dead. This is what is happening to the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. People, I try to break it down as simple as possible. I don't know if I got to understand how an economy works. So when I hear Ralph Gonsalves is offering to rehire those teachers, not to reinstate them, not to put them back in the capacity that they were before, but to rehire them, to bring them in, not even compensating them for their experiences. These are teachers that has 15 and 20 years experience. If you rehire them, you bring them in at basic salary, and you pretend that the experience they had does not exist. But in doing the work, they will be employing the experience they have in producing what you want them to produce. The children will benefit from the experience that they had, but they will not be commemorated. They will not be rewarded. They will not be paid for that experience that they are now using on the job. My people, it's a hard day. It's a hard time. But the fact is, whether they have a court ruling or not, the country is unable to pay the teachers. My name is Chief Strongblood. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, favorite and most hated son, the rest. But before I go, let me give you one more story. I've been listening to Luzette King, Adriana King, Kenson King, Brian Alexander, Patches Nights every now and again when he do a live. And they were asking this one question. Boy, after all those wickedness them people doing, how could Ralph Gonsalves sleep? How can this man sleep? Let me tell you a story. In India, there was a woman. Her son went out to gather wood. And when he was getting in the wood, a reckless snake bite him, because you know a lot of reckless snake in India. Bite him. Her son suffered. She tried to take care of him, tried to nurse him back to health. He eventually died. And the woman said, how can that snake sleep knowing that he just killed my only son for absolutely no reason at all? She got a machete and she said, I am going to find that snake that bite my son and kill my son, and I'm going to chop him up. She was angry. She wanted some form of revenge for the life of her son that was taken away from her prematurely. She went in the same area her son was bitten, and not too far from that place, she saw the reckless snake sleeping. And she take it, and the first chop she get the snake, she chop off the rattler. And the snake watch her confusingly, like asking, he didn't speak. Why are you doing this to me? And she say, you kill my son, and she chop him again. Remember, she made that snake sleeping comfortably. And then she realized it's a snake. It is its nature to bite. It will sleep whether or not it bit my son. My people, Ralph Gonsalves is a Caucasus, from the Caucasus community, the Caucasians. He's a Portuguese, one of the least of the Caucasus community. They are devils. The first Caucasian was Issa. He was planted in Rebecca's womb. They can't help it. It is the nature of devils to be oppressive and wicked. So when Luzette King, Adriana King, Kenson King, Patches Knight, Brian Alexander, Matthew Thomas, and those people are acting in their radio programs. How can these people sleep? They sleep like babies because they are devils. They sleep like babies. You look, the American drop a bomb, an atomic bomb, and Hiroshima killed thousands of people. And after they did it, they went to bed and they slept like babies because it is their nature. If they didn't drop that bomb, and kill all of those Japanese people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it would have kept them up alive at night, because it is their desire to do wickedness, to see people suffer. So don't ask yourself this again. Ralph Gonsalves is the Caucasians. They are of the Edomites of the Bible, the sons of Esau. I know you don't listen to my ministry. Go find Chabad.org and you see that the Edomites are the progenitor of the Caucasus community. Go to Encyclopedia Britannica. Under the heading, Jerusalem, subheading, Roman rule, you will discover that Herod, the Roman king, who ruled over Israel when Jesus was alive, wasn't Edomite. They were all white. My people, they love to see suffering. So don't ask how Ralph Gonsalves sleep at night. He sleep quite well. The more he causes people to suffer, the better he sleep. They say one thing with their mouths, but their hearts have another thing. They have to deceive you into believing that they are like you. And when you believe they are like you and you are like them, you expect integrity, honesty, and morals from them, but they don't have the capacity to practice those things. But they convince you that they are like them. So when you hear Michelle Andrews say he raped him, nah, he's like me, he will not rape her. They are not like us, they are devils, demons. Yes, children. Listen to me. Esau was planted in Rebecca's womb by the devil. That's why the Most High says in Genesis chapter 25, Genesis chapter 25, 2 nations is in your womb. What is a nation? A nation is a group of people that has the same father, the same progenitor. The Caucasians are a nation. The Indians are a nation. The Chinese are a nation. Right? 2 nations in her womb, meaning 2 people with 2 different fathers. My people, my name is Chief Strongblood. St. Vincent the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. The diaspora machismo. I'll talk to you.